It's back to Big D for a huge battle. It's set for Game 5 between the Oilers and the Stars right here on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. What's up, everybody? Good evening. How are you? Hope you're enjoying your Friday on a windy, gusty day here in Edmonton. It is the Oil Stream pregame show. Live on location, Hudson's Bourbon Street, or as it's written on the sign, Bourbon Street. Inside West Edmonton Mall, Tom Gazzola, YouTube Trev with you. We will be joined by Shawn Belle in for Matty Cassian. Tonight, Cass taking care of some family stuff. Cass wishing him well and everybody with the fam. He's going to be all right. He'll be back, I think, for Game 6. So passing on some good vibes over to Cass and his fam. And hoping everybody is enjoying their Friday. Of course, GCL Diesel, Edmonton's diesel fuel system specialists and providers of critical engine components for over 50 years. How are you, oil country? We want to hear from you as much as possible. Vibes good, confidence sky high, confidence maybe somewhat better and louder than they were. It was. Going into Game 4, you tell us, 780-218-9999. Or in the nasty chat, if you're watching on YouTube, get in there. You're tuning in on iHeartRadio, the TuneIn app, or EdmontonSportsTalk.com's audio player. We appreciate you very, very much. What's up, YouTube, Trev? Welcome back to the show. Look at you. You're back. You got to go to a playoff game, little date night with Dash in the park. That was adorable. I hope you guys had a lot of fun at the game.
Oh, adorable. Yeah, it was so adorable, Tommy. No, it was sick. It was sick is what it was, yeah. Tom. I had so much fun that night. It's still kind of like I'm having a hard time falling asleep just because that was something I looked forward to my entire life ever since my stepdad. I remember he went to the game where Ryan Smith got the chiclets out. He was at that game, and then I remember he brought back some pom-poms, and he was like, Trev, like the city was absolutely buzzing. I'm like, tell me more, tell me everything about it. And so I got to live that. I gotta finally go to an Oilers playoff game, and I waited my whole life for that, Tommy. So it was sick. It wasn't cute. It was awesome. Okay. And Dash in the Park, absolute beauty. I had a lot of fun with him. It was just awesome. Like it was the coolest thing ever. I've talked about it at length in the morning show, the previous 2 mornings now, and I'm talking about it again. I told all my family back home, told Grandma how awesome it was. So yeah, it was so cool, man.
Yeah, Dash in the Park is good. So I
absolutely
will give him props for bringing the kid out to his first playoff game, and I'm glad you got to enjoy and experience that. Big thank you to Zach to come for stepping up in a pinch there, and Dash in the Park. Yeah, good dude all around, but it is fun to tease you. And I didn't say cute, I said adorable. Or maybe I threw cute in there as well.
Same thing, Tommy. It's the same thing, okay?
Yeah, they're synonyms. It's all good. All right, 780-218-9999, the Oil Stream pregame show brought to you by GCL Diesel, live on location, Hudson's, West Edmonton Mall. Lots of reserve tables. Shout out to the Nasties who are already here. Fergie is here. Fergie's Prostate, Rip City Step, Jay and Andrea. And then I know we're going to see Trev come down after the show's over. He's going to have a bite and have a beverage or two with the crew. There's VR Montenegro. Good day, sir. And Lieutenant Eric will be here, Matthew Iwanek, and maybe even Zach to come. I don't know. I didn't talk to him to see if he was coming down, but he might be a busy boy as he gets set to take in game number 5 between the Oilers and the Stars. We will also be joined by Leah Assimakopoulos from the Dallas Morning News. Leah is great. You saw her heading into game number 2. And Leah, I asked her if she could join us for game number 4, and she was tied up. And then the other thing too, her journey to get to Edmonton was an absolute nightmare. I'll let her tell the story. She documented it on her Twitter. And then if you don't follow any of the media that has been traveling back and forth, not just Edmonton media, but the Dallas media, as well as the national media, it has been a disaster getting between Edmonton and Dallas. We used to have a direct. I remember taking it years ago. I think it's gone, obviously, now. And then the other thing, too, is there was a lot of inclement weather that delayed things. So tough go for everybody. Jackie Redmond, poor Jackie, was following her on Instagram yesterday. and she had a tough time. She was up at 3:30, I think, to get to our airport, and then didn't land in Dallas or arrive in Dallas till about midnight. So a huge travel day, and not in a good way for Jackie and Elliot Friedman and a bunch of the other media that are traveling back and forth between Edmonton and Dallas. All right. I'm curious. I want to know what your thoughts are. I asked about your confidence level. Text us 780-218-9999. But I also want to know this. It's the question of the night. We're watching Conor Brown put together a nice playoff after sitting out the first round. He has been effective. He has started to put up points. I put up the pictures of him with Peter Klima, and I said Brown greater than Klima, giving him credit for his first goal of the playoffs. And then he makes a nice play to Matthias Janmark for the shorthanded marker in Game 4. And then I put Brown greater than Pekka. And some people were like, that's an insult to Mike Pekka. You're forgetting how good of a player Conor Brown has been for the majority of his career. Checker, penalty killer, can put up points. That's what Mike Pekka was. Mike Pekka was more physical, certainly. Mike Pekka was a centerman, did take draws, and a lot of responses were, well, Mike Pekka scores on breakaways. Yes, Conor Brown has had his struggles on breakaways, whether it was against Vancouver or partial breaks against Dallas, but he does have the one, and then he has had a couple of crucial assists, and his play overall has been very good since he has been reinserted into the lineup. So having said that, the question of the night is this. Is Conor Brown's play this postseason helping to validate the contract that the Oilers signed him to? Remember, it was a $750,000 or $775,000 base salary with $3.25 million bonus. So ultimately a $4 million player this year. And I know that there's going to be a cap hit next year for Brown. But is Conor Brown's play this postseason, that means playoffs, helping to validate the contract that the Oilers signed him to? Text us 780-218-9999 and get in on the nasty chat. I want to hear from you. I'll read those out as we move along. And then, of course, if you want to share your thoughts going into this game, if your confidence has grown after Game 4, maybe it has stagnated, maybe you're not so sure, let us know, and we'll read those as we move along. YouTube, Trev, as is tradition, you get the first crack at the question of the night. Is Conor Brown's play this postseason helping to validate the contract that the Oilers signed him to?
Yeah, that's an interesting one, Tommy. I think it's definitely helping his case, right? Everyone knows the season that he had. Just looking at it right now, the 12 points in 71 games played. It's not a good season. Definitely, it is his worst statistical season so far in his career, aside from his 4 games that he played the year prior. I don't know if he'll ever, the only thing I can really think if he wins, if he gets a OT goal in the finals, in the Stanley Cup finals, if the Oilers get there, I think this question I'd say yes. I'd say yes, but okay. I still think I'm leaning towards no, just because he just had such a tough season, Tommy.
He did.
It'd be certainly it's so hard for him. Doesn't matter what he does, I don't think, aside from a huge goal, albeit in the Stanley Cup Finals, if an overtime winner, that's the only thing I'd say. I'd give it to him then. But yeah, I'm going to say no. I'm leaning towards no right now, Tommy.
All right, I understand. And no's probably the safe answer, but every time he makes a big play and the Oilers win another game in this playoffs, I think the people that were really against him and were really upset about him throughout the season, that thought about how bad of a contract it was, it chips away just a little bit. Not entirely, but just a little bit. So question of the night, text us 780-218-9999. Of course, if you're watching on YouTube, get into the nasty chat. Is Conor Brown's play this postseason helping to validate the contract that the Oilers signed him to? Yes, no, maybe so. And then show your work, please, and thank you. We appreciate that very, very much. Really quickly, before we get to Leah, we do have to note that we probably will see one lineup change for the Oilers. Chris Knobloch talking about it earlier today in his availability, saying maybe one, and it looked like Sam Carrick was taking Derek Ryan's spot at center between Matthias Janmark and the aforementioned Conor Brown. Defense probably staying the same. Forward unit likely staying the same as well. As for the Dallas Stars, big question for them. Chris Tanev, will he be good to go? Walking boot, people spotting him at the airport in one, and did not finish the game the other night in game 4, and he is an absolute warrior. I feel like he'll probably play, but if he can't go, that is a huge loss for the Stars. And if he does go, what level of Chris Tanev are we going to get? The usual standard warrior trying, but only on one foot. Non-factor. We did see him play against the Oilers on one good arm in that series against the Flames in the second round 2 years ago. Also, we get to our starting goalies. 25-year-old Stuart Skinner, 9-5, 271 GAA, 887 save percentage, 1 shutout in 14 playoff games. And then lifetime in the postseason, Skinner, a 14-11 mark, 312 goals against average, 885 save percentage, 1 shutout in 26 games. All right, as for the Dallas Stars, he's been pretty solid. Jake Ottinger, 25 years of age as well. 10-7 is his record. 220 is his goals against average. 919 is his save percentage in 17 playoff games this year. Lifetime, Ottinger, 23-20 with a 246 GAA, 918 save percentage, 2 shutouts in 45 playoff games over the course of his young career. Text us 780-218-9999. Of course, if you're watching, get into the nasty chat. Be good to each other. Not too many Dallas fans have crept in there. Unlike when the Oilers faced the Vancouver Canucks, we saw a lot of spammers from the Canucks. We do have our moderators keeping tabs on things, so be nice. ELE. Everybody love everybody. Portions of this hour brought to you by 100.3 The Bear, by the way, Edmonton's best rock. Catch Dusty Nielsen with Yukon Jack and Scott McCord weekday mornings. And, of course, tune into Jess Jackson on your way home from work every afternoon. It's an absolute treat to join Jess to set up games and break them down as we've progressed throughout the postseason. So be sure to tune in to our dear friends over at 100.3 The Bear, Edmonton's best rock. Let's get to Leah Assimakopoulos from the Dallas Morning News, joining us again here on the Oil Stream pregame show after an absolutely disastrous travel schedule. Leah, I prefaced you hopping on here earlier by saying it was terrible, and I talked to you when you got here finally, your journey to Edmonton. I said I wasn't going to tell our audience about it. I said I'd let Leah do it. What the hell happened to you? Thank God you're okay, and you made it back to Dallas, which is great too.
There were many times in the last 5 days that I didn't know if I would make it back or there. It's been pretty much a nightmare, but I have not missed a game yet, knock on wood. So basically I was supposed to fly out whatever the day before game 3 was. I guess that's Sunday. I had an evening flight, which the evening flights always scare me, and it got delayed, my flight to Denver, so I was going to miss my connection to get to Edmonton, so I moved everything to the next morning, drove home from the airport, got in a car crash on the way home, had to go to the hospital because I hit my head and didn't want to fly concussed, ended up being fine, got up 4 hours later, flew to Edmonton, got in right in time, covered a game, and then had a couple days there, and yesterday, as a lot of you probably saw, all of us were on this flight that just would not take off because there was some weather in Dallas. So our layover in Denver was supposed to be an hour and ended up being 12 hours.
Oh my.
So I got in at 2 a.m. last night. Did not make it to morning skate this morning, but we're here now to cover a game. So it's been a real adventure.
Yes. Thank you for sharing. And we're glad you made it safely. I didn't hear about the head getting bumped part. I did see your picture from the hospital. I saw the photo of the vehicle, and I was like, my goodness. And when it was nice to actually meet you in person when we were getting ready for game 4 as well. So I'm glad you made it safely, albeit super late, back to Dallas. We did have a direct. I think I told you that. There was a time where there was a direct between Edmonton and Dallas. I long for those days and for the sake of you and the rest of our media peers, but that doesn't exist anymore. So here we are together digitally. And that's all that matters under one big happy digital roof. So having said that, Leah, give us a sense of what's going on in Dallas. Are Stars fans starting to have a little bit of concern after the loss in game 4? The series is tied at 2. And then now with Chris Tanev maybe being a little bit nicked up here, are there some worries that are starting to come to the forefront when it comes to the Dallas Stars? Oh, Trev, we have some connection problems with Leah.
Yeah, sorry. She just disconnected. Sorry about that.
Okay, we'll get Leah back here as soon as we can. Let's dip it to the inbox. In the meantime, 780-218-9999. And, of course, via the nasty chat on the YouTube side of things. When Leah, oh, there she is. She's good to go. We'll get her back. Keep those texts coming in. All right, Leah, so the concern, give us a sense of where the fan base is at with everything that's gone on over the last couple of days.
Yeah, I mean, I think, the Game 4 performance definitely wasn't what Stars fans wanted to see. I mean, the start was exactly what they wanted, but, Edmonton looked like the much better team in the 2 periods that followed, maybe 2.5 periods from there. So, I think there's a little concern, but I think tonight's going to be pretty telling. I think you win game, what are we at, 5? And that, you get an upper hand going into the last 2 games of the series. So I think maybe the concern would come after tonight. Obviously Stars at home, and I think the biggest concern and question is really what the status of Chris Tanev is, because if he plays, I think Stars fans probably feel pretty good going into tonight. Not just if he plays, but if he can play to his full potential or at least close to that. But I think that's the big question mark right now. There's been a lot of rumors of him walking around in a boot, him not walking around in a boot now at the American Airlines Center. Some people spotted him on NHL Network wearing normal dress shoes. So I think we're just going to have to see what happens in warm-ups, and that's going to change a lot for Stars fans.
Hey, if they caught him on NHL Network, maybe they saw him wincing every step or going, ow, ow, ow. I mean, to keep him out of the third period, the guy's an absolute beast. Like Leah, I was saying it earlier, you're getting ready to hop on with us. Like, he played with one arm. He played with one arm, essentially, when he was with the Flames 2 years ago in the playoffs against Edmonton, and nobody thought he'd be back in action, and he did suit up. So his pain threshold is through the roof, and he's an absolute warrior if he does play. And from what you've heard in terms of, like, the severity, maybe you've heard something, maybe you've not heard much, but how effective do you think he could be? And if he's at, like, 50%, how much of a detriment is that to the blue line, considering they're already down Hakanpää, and they've got Alex Petrovic in there, and Petch is trying to do what he can do. Hadn't played in the NHL in 5 years. So what kind of hole would that be on the back end?
Yeah, I mean, I think kind of to what you were saying, his pain threshold probably is higher than like anyone else on this team. So, I think when he gets injured, it's a very different reaction than when anyone else does. This is probably the 3rd time this season, and he's only been here since the trade deadline, that he looked like he took a bad injury and then ended up playing the next game. So
wow.
I don't really know what that is going to mean for him. I think even if he is at 50%, it's probably still a better option for the Stars than the alternatives.
Mm-hmm.
That's the tough thing for them. They're a very deep team when it comes to the forwards, but defensively, that's just not the situation. The options kind of turn to, do you put Nils Lundqvist back in the lineup? And he's just really struggled to earn the trust of the coaching staff, especially.
Oh, we got connection problems again there, Trev. We'll get Leah back on as we get her input on what's going to happen with the Dallas Stars and their back end. 780-218-9999. Let's go to see what's going on there. If Tanev plays, hopefully he's as effective as he was in that Flames series. That's coming out of Calgary. And then also saying, I agree 100% with YouTube, Trev. Definitely not unless they win the cup, and he is a bit part of that. That is in regard to Conor Brown and the question of the night. I'll throw it out there one more time. 780-218-9999. Is Conor Brown's play this postseason helping to validate the contract that the Oilers signed him to? Yes, no, maybe. You let us know. We'll read those as you go along. All right, Leah, it cut out there, but you were saying the options if Tanev can't go. You're talking about Nils Lundqvist hasn't been able to get the trust. And then the other name is Sean Shapiro, I think, saying that Leon, is it Bushell, the right way to pronounce it, Bichelle, would be in. He's 6'6". Yeah, correct the pronunciation. 6'6", has never played an NHL game. Give us a story on this guy.
Yes, so Leon Bixel, I believe is how we say his name.
Okay.
Also, sorry about my internet. It's a mess down here.
Let's blame the arena. Let's blame the arena. Not your fault.
No, not at all. But yeah, so Bixel's an interesting story. He's only 19 years old. So he's probably the Stars' top defensive prospect right now, but he did not really play in the AHL this year. So he used an option in his contract to go play in Sweden, where he's from. So he played the first few games of the AHL season, left to go play in Sweden, went to the championship with his team there. And when their season ended, he came back and joined the Texas Stars in the Calder Cup playoffs, and they won a couple rounds. So I think he only played one round in the AHL playoffs, and then gets called up as a black ace, and he's been around. And he's kind of everything that the Stars need. He's got size. He's really skilled. He's kind of compared to Hakanpää in a lot of ways in terms of his size. He's 19 years old, and he's, as you said, 6'6". So I think that's why he's an option that's being considered right now, because he pretty much brings the opposite of what Nils Lundqvist brings, and that's just what they need in the playoffs. So if he plays tonight, that's going to be a very big deal. They said earlier in the playoffs, I spoke with Stars GM Jim Nill, and he said he would be an option. And he's obviously here, so he is an option. There's also Derek Pouliot, who had been called up at the start of the playoffs to add some extra defensive depth, and he played a few regular season games. So there are options, but obviously none of them are near Chris Tanev's level. So we'll just have to see.
Yep, absolutely. Leah Assimakopoulos joining us from the Dallas Morning News as we get you set for game number 5, Oilers and Stars. Puck drop just after 6:30 Mountain Time. It should be a doozy of a game. All right, I want to ask you about this, Leah. We're watching a couple of older gentlemen in their late 30s in Joe Pavelski and Ryan Suter. Suter we're seeing and we're noticing a little bit. I'm not going to lie, I haven't really noticed a ton from Little Joe, as he was affectionately known in San Jose. What's going on there? Is there pressure ramping up on Pavelski? How has Suter looked in your books? Give us a little bit of the sense of the elder statesmen and their performances thus far.
Yeah, I think I've started to see Ryan Suter taking heat the last couple of games here. Honestly, I don't have as much issue with Suter's game. He didn't look great last game, but if you look at his kind of body of work this year, it's definitely been a step up from where he was at last year. He was not a very popular guy among Stars fans, got a big contract and just wasn't quite delivering in his older age. But they've reduced his minutes this year, and it's really seemed to pay off. He's no longer playing on the power play. That's really seemed to help. So I think that Suter's had a couple iffy games here, but overall in the playoffs, he's been really solid, and they needed him. Pavelski, on the other hand, he has even said he's not happy with his game. I think he's got 1 goal in the postseason, and for someone with as much playoff success in his career, it's come as a bit of a surprise because his age didn't really show this way in the regular season, but I think you're seeing it now. He's even been at a lot of optional morning skates, which is pretty rare for him, and he's commented on that, saying, I'm going to be here until I'm happy with my game. So They really could use it, especially on the power play. We haven't had a power play goal in this series, and he's known for those tip-in power play goals. So I think it's a matter of time for him to get going. The Stars certainly could use it.
You know what they could do is just shoot more pucks off of Darnell Nurse's butt and let those go in. Those seem to be working, much to the chagrin of Oiler fans. Yeah, absolutely. Any other lineup changes? I know we might see Bixell, like you said, on the back end if Tanev can't go. Was there anything that we might have heard from Pete DeBoer that would indicate some lineup changes here?
Not that I know of from this morning. I think Tanev's the big question, but after a loss, Pete DeBoer is known for making some changes, so I think it's possible. But we'll see what comes out of that warm-ups in, 30 minutes.
We're so used to hearing that. We'll see what comes out of the gate. That was Jay Woodcroft's thing. All right, Leah, I'll ask you this too. What kind of game are we anticipating? Does it get blown open like it did with 5 unanswered goals from the Oilers the other night? Can the Stars counter tonight? Are we going to go back to tight hockey? What's your sense of tonight in Dallas?
I think we're going to have a tighter game tonight. At least from the Stars' perspective, they've played very few games this playoffs that haven't been decided by a goal plus an empty netter. So I think that's just what we've seen, especially at home. They really haven't managed to kind of blow open a game at home. So I think that's probably what you can expect. But I've kind of tried to stop. Predicting things here in the playoffs because they never quite go how I think.
Yeah, it's been predictably unpredictable series for sure. Wayne Gretzky's even saying it, Leah, and if the best player of all time can say it, I think it's easy to follow suit behind him. Hey, thanks for doing this. I'm glad you made it to Dallas safe. I hope you had a good time in Edmonton when you did get here. Are you coming back for Game 6?
I am. I will see you there.
Planes, trains, and automobiles. You'll get here. Enjoy game number 5. Leah, thanks for hopping on, and we'll talk to you soon, okay?
Sounds good. Have a good one.
That's Leah Assimakopoulos from the Dallas Morning News, helping us get the scoop on the Dallas Stars heading into game number 5. Text us 780-218-9999 or get into the nasty chat as we move along in the program. Question of the night, throw it out there one more time. Is Conor Brown's play this postseason helping to validate the contract that the Oilers signed him to? Yes, no, show your work. Tell us why or why not. We want to hear from you. All right, let's go to Mary. I see Mary's text. Mary says Conor Brown was playing rope-a-dope with his lackluster regular season play. He was just waiting to deliver his TKO-type game in the postseason. That's from Twitter. Mary, good to hear from you, and good to see your adventures all over the world. My goodness, wearing that EST hat. Where did you lose it? Mount Vesuvius in Pompeii, something like that? That is unbelievable. We sacrificed one of those beautiful hats to the gods. And just in time, Mary, to get a green and gold EST hat, limited run. They just arrived, and I saw them this morning in studio. They look phenomenal. It is the Oil Stream pregame show brought to you by GCL Diesel, live on location, Hudson's Bourbon Street at West Edmonton Mall. Tom Gazzola, YouTube Trev with you. Shawn Belle hopping on for Matty Cassian tonight. Bellsy will be joining us shortly on the program. Zulu getting into the action. Zulu says, yes, it's worth it, that contract that Brown signed with the Oilers, helping produce in playoffs and plays that PK regular season. Doesn't matter. Corey B says, I'd like to see him back at league minimum. It would make the bonus sting less. Say hi to everyone for me. Go Oil. Corey B, everyone wishing you well. And a bunch of the nasties have already settled in here at Hudson's Bourbon Street at West Edmonton Mall. Let's go to Mick Lovin texting in, says, Conor Brown is the $1 million goal guy. You know he'll come in the clutch. Big Uke has something to say about it. Big Uke says, it doesn't validate it, but it sure as hell makes it easier to swallow. Yeah, there you go. Good perspective. Big Uke also adds, ooh, baby, game 5, Friday night, sun out, beer cold. What a time to be alive. Still cannot believe that the Oil have a chance to go 3-2 in the conference final after how this year started. Boys, got to be buzzing tonight. I know they will be, and I will be too. Let's go, Tommy, says Big U. Keep those texts coming in 780-218-9999. YouTube Trev, Tom Gazzola, and Shawn Belle, who looks like he is ready to rock and join us for Game Changers. Hey, what's going on in the nasty chat? I haven't checked over there, Trev. Is it all good? Everything's good on the nasty chat side?
Yeah, I'd say so. Everything's,
okay.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's having a grand old time tonight, Tommy.
All right, I like that. Good vibes all around. That's a good thing. And maybe the Oilers can add to that tonight as we get you set for the big game. I see the big man is ready to rock. He is my co-host on the Hello Hockey show. I would say it's a tremendous hockey program available on Saturdays at 10 to noon on our fine station. And then you can also catch it if you're in Calgary and Vancouver. Sportsnet 650 in Vancouver and Sportsnet 960 in Calgary. What's up, Bellsy? Thank you for filling in for Cass today. I know he's got some family stuff he has to take care of. How you doing, big guy?
Doing good, buddy. No problem. I can always help bail out Cassian.
Yeah, good teammates. That's what's it? Teamwork makes the dream work, and we're all a bunch of
teamwork makes the dream work, buddy.
Even though Cass says he hates Joaquin, we all got each other's backs.
100% we do.
Yeah, we do. No beef like that with you and Gager or you or Cass, obviously. It's all good.
Well, me and Cass always have beef, but it's all love.
Oh, okay. I like it. It's beefy love.
Yeah, 100%.
Whatever the heck that means. Okay, let's go into the question of the night. I'm going to throw it out there to our audience again. Text us 780-218-9999 if you're listening on iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Apple Music, the EdmontonSportsTalk.com audio player. You can hit us up on the text line, and then, of course, via the nasty chat if you're talking with the fellow nasties on EdmontonSportsTalk.com's YouTube channel, which is continually growing, which is fantastic to see. Question of the night, Bellsy. I'm throwing it at you right now. Is Conor Brown's play this postseason helping to validate the contract that the Oilers signed him to?
Oh, that's a great question. I don't know if it's necessarily helping to validate it, but it's softening the blow for sure. Because at the end of the day, if he's able to carry this over, through the rest of the playoffs and into next season, well, then I think that does validate the fact that, $3 million is not that bad. And is he going to score 4 goals next year? If he scores 15 or 16 goals, he even gets remotely close to 20, well, then it's instantly validated. So
if it's with Edmonton.
What's that?
If it's with Edmonton, because remember, he's a UFA.
And let's be honest, why wouldn't you bring him back at this point? Because he's added good depth to the team. He's been really good on the PK. Yes, he's had his trouble scoring goals throughout the year, but literally the minute he got that goal, he scored 4 within 3 weeks.
Yep.
That's exactly what you want from a depth player. And if he's around all season, and once again he scores 10 to 15 goals, well, we're probably not sitting here talking about his contract being bad.
Yeah. And then the other thing too, I think for a lot of people, and I understand this mindset as well, is if he's a $3.25 million cap hit, which was the bonus on the cap next season for the Oilers, and he's playing for them, scoring potentially a 10 to 15, like you said, Bellsy, that makes it much easier to swallow, as opposed to him being a $3.25 million cap hit for the Oilers next season, playing on another team, making maybe
100%.
$1 million or a league minimum for that other club. So yeah, that does help ease the blow. I just wanted to get your thoughts on that, and I want to get our audience's thoughts on that as well. It is the question of the night. Is Conor Brown's play in the postseason validating the contract that the Oilers signed him to? 780-218-9999. Let's get into Game Changers with our game analyst, Shawn, Belle. Game Changers, as always, brought to you by Damon Bunting RE/MAX Elite. Damon Bunting, consistent top producing realtor in Greater Edmonton and among Western Canadian RE/MAX realtors. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. He's community driven and understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. All right, Bellsy, number 1 on the docket for you tonight, and I like it. Let's start there. PK dominance.
It has been unbelievable to watch, because over the course of the last 2 to 3 years, all we've ever talked about here in Edmonton is the power play, how historic it is, how good it is, how many different options they have. And here we are now. We're not talking about the power play. We're talking about the PK. And it's been so important to the success of the Oilers, because they go out and they literally squash momentum from the opposing team. Every time Dallas has had a PK, it's been, almost a minute trying to break back into the zone. And when they do that, the Oilers do such a great job of keeping them to the outside. They take away those passing lanes. I'm going to knock on wood right now to make sure that nothing happens bad, but they've done a great job of taking away passing lanes. They're limiting the grade A scoring chances. And then, like we saw last game, they buried a goal. So this has been utter dominance from the PK, and it's fantastic to see. And I really hope that they're able to continue that, because I think it's important to the success of the Oilers.
The penalty kill first in the playoffs. The power play is second overall in the National Hockey League in the postseason. If you're going, what is their PK at right now, guys? 93.2%. They've only allowed 3 goals on the penalty kill this year, Bellsy, and all 3 of those came in a 2-game span. There was a 2-goal game and a 1-goal game against the Vancouver Canucks. But since then, in that LA series, perfect. So far in this Dallas series, perfect. And just the little blemish in a couple of games there on the PK. 1 shorty as well. They're +1 on special teams, and it was the PK that was the reason why.
100%. And that's fantastic, right? I think we were on one show and somebody talked about having, coaches talk about being at 100% between the power play and the PK. And right now, the power play is struggling a little bit. But if you look at an overall percentage between the two, you're at 100% or higher. So it's actually been really good. And that's exactly what you want from your specialty teams.
The power play, 32.6%. 15 for 46 this postseason. It is second in the NHL. And you talk about that 100 threshold. Edmonton, with the 93.2 and the 32.6? That's 125-ish? Am I right there? Somewhere around 125. That's
somewhere in that area. But so it's exceeding expectations. And once again, if they're able to now generate some offensive chances on the power play and actually maybe mix in a goal or two, the Oilers are going to be really tough to beat, which actually goes into the second point of changers, which is
Mr.
a perfect segue. Yes. Number 2, Tom, you want to talk about it?
I can bring it up, and I'll tee it up for you. No sleepy.
No sleepy. The Oilers, when they go sleepy, that's when they get in trouble. Bad things happen when they go sleepy. Every single game that we've seen through the playoffs, anytime something goes bad, it's not because somebody has taken over the game. It is because the Oilers have taken their foot off the gas pedal, and we can't have that. We're in the third round. It's essentially a best of 3 at this point. Don't go sleepy, because if you do that, and Draisaitl actually said it to Principe this morning, when we play our best, there's not many teams that can beat us. That's not an exact quote, but it's pretty much exactly what he said.
Yeah, paraphrasing.
And it's paraphrasing, and I agree with them, because their high end is fantastic. But when they decide to go sleepy, they're an ordinary hockey team, and it allows these other guys into games, and this is exactly what you've seen. Game number 4, what happens? The first 8 minutes of the game, sleepy, 2-0. Yep. They wake up, all of a sudden they're flying all over the ice. Game number 3, they were up by, I think it was 2 or 3 goals. They go sleepy. What happens? Here comes Dallas storming back. So no more nighttime during the game, boys.
No kidding. Edmonton has killed 23 straight penalties. The franchise record for consecutive penalty kills is 25 that they set in 1998. So they set a new playoff record for the franchise with the 23 straight kills. And then, Belzy, you were talking about no sleepy, as well as the power play. We talked a little bit about that. And then the quote that you mentioned from Leon Draisaitl, I do have it. I'm pulling it up here because he did have it with the guys from Sportsnet. It is, quote, "I truly believe that our best beats anyone's best." That's what you were alluding to. And he dropped that earlier, and it is on the Sportsnet Twitter account. The power play has had its struggles in this series. It is still second in the NHL in the playoffs. What's happening there from what you've noticed through first 4 games?
It just seems to me like they're trying to do a little bit too much in terms of generating chances. Dallas has been a good job collapsing in the house, so they're once again limiting those outside chances. They're taking away the seams. They're kind of overplaying Draisaitl, making sure that they've got a stick in the lane, which is deterring, Connor McDavid or Bouchard or Nuge to make that cross-ice pass. But with that being said, they're still generating some chances. You saw in Game 4, well, here's a few chances that they're starting to generate. And it's only going to be a matter of time before the power play strikes. And this is the perfect time, the first perfect game for them to kind of take the shackles off the power play and get it rolling again. So they just got to simplify. They can use Bouchard's shot, open things up. Now, because he becomes a threat, then maybe those seams open up to Draisaitl again and potentially backdoor to Hyman.
In this series, Edmonton 0 for 1, 0 for 2, 0 for 2, and 0 for 1. So they're not getting a ton of opportunities, and likely the case again tonight. But who knows? Maybe they start to skate. Maybe they force Dallas to chase, and maybe they force Dallas to take some untimely penalties and uncharacteristic like penalties. All right, it is the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show live on location at Hudson's on Bourbon Street, West Edmonton Mall. Tom Gazzola with you. Shawn, Belle, our game analyst, joining us tonight from the satellite studios at Belzy's Place, and then YouTube Trev holding things down back at ESTHQ. Shout out to all the nasties who are already here at the Bourbon Street Hudson's location. Good crew. And looks like a bunch of reserved tables and a bunch of people starting to trickle their way in. Belzy, you know how good and rowdy Hudson's can get, and it should be a fun one here tonight. All right. We are doing game changers. Number 1 was PK dominance. Number 2 was no sleepy. Number 3, Bellsy, put pressure on the D.
Yes, Tanev is a game time decision. There's pictures on Twitter that were surfacing of him in a walking boot. He's been exceptional. He's taken away.
Oh, we lost Bellsy. Oh, no. We'll get him back. 780-218-9999. Bellsy will get back to that point. Get your text in regard to the question of the night. I'll throw it out there one more time if you're just joining us or just joined us and didn't catch it. Is Conor Brown's play this postseason helping to validate the contract that the Oilers signed him to? Trev, you put up a poll on YouTube. What are the numbers at?
Yeah, let's just take a quick look here. So it looks like the majority of people are saying yes. Is Conor Brown's played this postseason, validating his contract? 58 votes so far, and 67% of you are saying yes, and 33% of you are saying no.
All right. There you go. Is that poll close, or are you keeping it open?
I can keep it open there for you, Tommy.
Keep it open.
Yeah,
I know Zach Decum, he does quick polls. He puts them out for like 3 minutes, and then he closes them, and he gets like 25 responses, and he goes, wow, big sample size.
Yeah,
and
I noticed that. Yeah, no, we'll keep this one up for a bit.
Okay, good. Let us know your thoughts. I'll get to a couple of texts. Bellsy's reconnecting. We got to get to point number 3 on game changers. Let's see. This was from Jocelyn. Says, I had been listening to you and Tommy on the radio. Life was great. I went to Fort Edmonton with my son for a walk. Jay called me and asked where you guys were. I got to my truck and there was no 1260. The pit in my stomach knew. Oh, this is going back to this morning. Oh, I love that. That's a nice text, Jocelyn. Yeah, that was a weird day. We're coming up on the 1-year anniversary. We're exactly 2 weeks out from that. We feel like we've bounced back quite strong, and we feel like our new station is a little bit better. And it'll continue to grow and get better and better. And we promise you that as we continue to build it up. Jocelyn did add just recently, Tommy, we hit the 2 hoots and birdie boos a little early since 2:30. Let's go Oilers. I love it. Say hi to Jay, Jocelyn, and hopefully you like the birdie boos. And the 2 hoots is great in the summer. All right, Bellsy's ready to go. He had a connection issue there. We can't blame the AAC, American Airlines Center internet, like we did with Leah Assimakopoulos. Bellsy's good to go. He has reset, and he is going to get to point number 3 of game changers, which was put pressure on D. Bellsy, when it cut out, you were just saying Chris Tanev potentially out. If he was in a walkie boot, if he is good to go, like at what percentage is he playing at health-wise? Continue on, my friend.
Yeah, so Tanev was picture surfacing of him in a walking boot. He's a game-time decision, but regardless of whether he plays or not, you got to put pressure on this defense because Tanev is going to be skating on one leg. Whatever shot he's got going into his body, that's fantastic. Or if he doesn't play, whatever. Force him to make plays, get pucks behind him, put his face into the glass time after time. And historically, Dallas has basically played 5 defensemen for most of the game. So you know that these guys are tired. They're starting to wear down a little bit. And you want to make sure that they have a hard night. And they're consistently chasing after the defensemen or the forward, sorry. They're consistently, getting bumped to run into. I'm not asking guys to put them into the 15th row of the building, but run into them, slow them down, and make it hard for them. Because if Tanev's out, they're probably bringing in a defenseman who has split time between the AHL and Sweden.
Yep.
Off the top of the head, I can't remember his exact name.
Leon Bixell.
Well, there it is. So you want to make sure that if he can play, he may be uncharacteristic to his game, and because it's a different situation than the one we saw here with Broberg, where you took out Desharnais. You've left basically the core of your defense together, and you've inserted Broberg. Yeah. This one, you've got a major piece of your defense out. Okay, well, let's see what we can do and see how you can handle it. And if Heiskanen's going to take some of those minutes, he's going to be above 30 minutes. Yeah. Well, we can really try to, wear him down as much as we possibly can. So you got to put pressure on the D, make them make plays, make them turn, and make them chase you all night. Bixell
is 6'6". He is a first rounder from 2022. 20 years of age, started the year in Sweden with Rogel, and then finished the year with the Texas Stars. 16 regular season games with Texas, 5 playoff games with the Texas Stars, the Dallas Stars AHL affiliate. Bellsy, you've played in all of those leagues. You understand the differences and the nuances between them. I know you're a few years removed from your playing days, but to go from playing the full season in Sweden to the AHL to all of a sudden you might be making your NHL debut in the 3rd round of the playoffs and you're 20 years old, that's not easy. That's not easy. How would you be going about it? Did we lose Bellsy again? Trev?
Yeah, he's frozen. We'll bring it back to you.
Okay, we'll get Bellsy back, and I'll ask him that question. And we need to talk to him, too, about the ankle issue because he has dealt with a high ankle sprain and ankles being in bad shape in his playing career, and he has a good breakdown on what it's like to deal with, especially moving and trying to be a mobile defenseman like he was during his playing days. You know what we can do? In the meantime, we could go down to the American Airlines Center and let's say we get to Leon Draisaitl's pregame availability as we get Bellsy back and get some final thoughts from him. Can we do that, Trev?
Of course, yes. Here is Leon Draisaitl ahead of tonight's game.
All right.
What's it like to maybe be feeling a little bit better and healthier enough to take part in this game?
Yeah, feel good. Ready to go.
I wasn't looking for an answer.
Yeah, no, I know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Not sure what to say. It's,
Tell us about the fatigue. Like, it's a long road here, but the end's getting closer and it's getting more exciting. Is there a balance there?
Yeah, I think obviously, every team that's still in right now, there's fatigue for sure. But at the end of the day, when the puck drops at night, your adrenaline kicks in and you just keep pushing through it and. Probably speaking for everyone that you just continue to kind of plug away at it.
You looked at the Game 5 Vegas last year. You guys, felt that it was an opportunity to get back in this situation again. Guess how do you learn anything from that last year? Or is it a completely different situation this year?
I mean, similar but different, I guess. I don't know, but we're just focused on tonight, trying to win a game in Dallas here and. Go home with a lead. That's where our focus is at. It's all about tonight.
Leon, what is the biggest challenge that the Dallas Stars have presented in this series that you guys will have to make sure you guys work through in order to come out on top tonight?
Yeah, they obviously defend well. They're a deep team. They got threats on every line, and I think. For the most part, we've done a pretty good job. Maybe giving up a couple too many odd man looks headed our way, but I think we've adjusted well and looking to take another step tonight.
We saw last game an extended period of the Oilers' best game can win. Like when you play your best, it's enough. Does the key become just playing your best longer than they're playing their best?
A little bit, yeah. I think. I truly believe that our best beats anyone's best. It's just a matter of consistently playing that way, and that's taxing, and that's a hard thing to do. To play at your best every single night, every single shift. That's really hard to do. But I think we're finding our way a little bit, and just looking to continue that tonight.
I want to ask about Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. He's been here a long time. We went through some pretty lean years as part of the Oilers. Just his contribution and the fact that he's kind of climbed the mountain here from the very beginning.
Yeah, I mean, he's just so valuable, right, in every facet of the game. He touches every part of the game. I don't know, have you guys ever seen him make a mistake? I really haven't. So he's just such a smart, good hockey player, and I think he's probably a coach's favorite player in the world, I would say.
More so than you and Conor.
Probably, yeah. Well, certainly me, yeah.
You played with everyone or nearly everyone. But what was it like to get 2 new line mates that you haven't had before in a big game like that and being able to find some success there?
Yeah, it was good. I thought we played well. We created some looks. Thought we were pretty good defensively, too, for the most part. we have so many good players on our team that as a centerman, it's fairly easy to adapt. To anyone really that's on your wing, and it was. I thought we played well as a line. Of course, looking to take one step further tonight.
Perry has said to us he's not playing that up and down the ice game anymore at his age. That's not what he's going to do.
Yep.
You're not a slow player, but you have the ability to slow the game down. You have the ability to slow the game down in the offensive zone to the point where you might be a very good centerman for Perry. Do you guys play at the same pace and maybe can play the same game there?
Yeah, of course. I mean, he's an experienced guy. He's very smart. He knows what he is now, and I think it's Clowder or my job, to get him into positions where he can do his part, where he's the best in the world at. And I thought we did a good job of that last night. And obviously, we're not looking to play a run and gun style, anyways. So. Have possession, have ozone time where he can be at his best.
Kenneth is forced to miss tonight's game. How much do you feel that changes the dynamic?
I'm not going to comment on injuries. Sorry.
With Nugent Hopkins, is his ability not to make mistakes a byproduct of his hockey IQ? Like, what do you chalk it up to?
Yeah, for sure. Hockey IQ, understanding of situations, understanding of what he needs to do in the right moments, and but I think at the end of the day, it really comes down to hockey IQ. Yeah.
There you go. There's Leon Draisaitl said that Ryan Nugent-Hopkins has never made a mistake. That's a good lie. That's hilarious. We have seen mistakes from the Nuge, although he does do a good job generally of limiting them. And yes, he is a coach's go-to, a Swiss Army knife of sorts. All right, 780-218-9999. We are live on location for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show at Hudson's at West Edmonton Mall, Bourbon Street, 780-218-9999. And then get into the conversation via the Nasty Chat if you're watching on our YouTube channel. The question of the night, one more time. I'll throw it out there, and we're going to get to some responses right away. We will go back to some interviews as well. Maybe Belsey rejoins us. He's having internet issues at his satellite studios. Question of the night is this. Is Conor Brown's play this postseason helping to validate the contract that the Oilers signed him to? Let's go to Cal in the park, who says, Brown's play has been getting increasingly better every game. He's starting to look like the player that we remembered and has the potential to be a steal. Say hi to all the nasties from Cal and Sarah. See you on Sunday. This one from Dustin with a Y says, say hi to all the nastiest in attendance at Hudson, stuck at work for another week. Be safe, Dustin with the Y, who likes to join us on location at Hudson's and is an AM Nasty. He is a Nasty Club member as well, carrying that Nasty Club card with him proudly wherever he goes. Let's go to Hontorio Momes. Says, I never thought he was a bad player. I just thought he was having a bad year, and I didn't want him to move on to another team and go back to normal as the Oilers paid him. He's playing like we thought he would all year. Also, Hontorio Momes adds, Mark Stewart needs to get a lot more love than he's getting. Even KK said that Mark Stewart has been picking apart all these teams' power plays and their weaknesses and is giving unreal pre-scouts. KK being Chris Knobloch. Hontorio Momes, I'm glad you bring up Mark Stewart because a lot of attention naturally went to Paul Coffey, and the guy's a legend, Hall of Famer, one of the best defensemen of all time, an Oilers legend, certainly with his name forever in the rafters. But Mark Stewart gone in and did a sneaky good job of rebuilding the Oilers penalty kill at a time when it was one of the worst. I think it got as low as like 27th or 28th in the league at one point this season. Got it to, about, 15th it ended the season. And then right now in the postseason, it is first with a shorthanded goal added in there as a bonus, which we saw in Game 4. So I'm glad, Hontorio Momes, you're giving some love to Mark Stewart, who has done a good job helping Paul Coffey, and the two of them, maybe they're a dynamic duo, and defensive gurus and D-man whisperers helping to make sure the Oilers on the back end are sound after a very poor start. And a lot of people questioning if the Oilers even had a good defense. I think I put them at adequate at best at one point in the season. But right now, working as a six-man unit, doing a good job. Also, I hinted at it last week when people were clamoring for Troy Stetcher to get into the lineup. I said, I don't know if he's even available, and it was confirmed today. I retweeted Derek Van Dies, who had the photo put out by Stetcher's girlfriend. He did have surgery on his ankle. I believe it was a cyst that became infected, but I was talking with a few people a week or two ago, and they're like, I don't think Stetcher's going to be able to even play. He needs surgery on his ankle. I didn't know it was a cyst until today. I just knew he had a bad ankle and kept that under wraps. So now we know. No Troy Stetcher for the rest of the postseason. All right, let's get to a couple of nasty chats. What are you nasties up to? I see that the poll is still up there. Is Conor Brown's play this postseason validating his contract? Yes, at 68%. Yes. Trev, I'm a little bit surprised by that. Are you?
Yeah, I'm definitely surprised. But I mean, like, technically anything he does validates his contract, right? Like, if he had zeros across the board, he had nothing to show for it. So he has, proven that with some offense. So technically, from a technical aspect, he is validating his contract somewhat. But Tommy, just a quick question. Going back to the whole Stetcher thing, does that, like, are teams doing their due diligence when something like that happens? Like, is that something that the teams know of, like, that they're aware of before they make the trade? Or did that happen after the fact that the trade was happening? You know what I mean?
I'm assuming it was after.
Right?
I mean, yeah. I don't know how a cyst develops.
Yeah.
Or how quickly it can, or if it is something that builds up over time. I'm not that smart when it comes to cysts and their growth and development and how they become a thing. But I'm going to assume it's a recent development because he was practicing in the first round with the team. I think it was in the Vancouver series. We started to see less of him.
Right.
And maybe it happened while he was practicing and just not in the lineup. So
I
don't think this one is on the Oilers and not having the homework done on that. I think it's something that was more recent, kind of came up on them. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt.
Fair enough.
I don't know how a cyst develops. I don't know the time frame and the science behind it. I just know that that's what caused him to have an ankle issue, and it didn't get better and infected, and then they had to go in there and clean everything up. So yeah, I don't know if we're gonna play the deep dive game. I don't think this is on the Oilers medical staff or
you'd think so, right?
Hockey ops department not getting the down low on his medical condition. I don't know 100%. I'll have to ask around, but I think it's one that probably caught them off guard. For now, that's what I'm going to go with. But I'll have to ask and find out a little bit more. How's that?
That's fair, Tommy. Good answer.
Yeah. I mean, like, guys get hurt and they have bumps and bruises and they have, like, little things that stick with them, and then they worry about them in the off season. But I guess this was one that got to the point where it needed to be taken care of. And they did. Yeah. Okay, let's go inside the nasty chat. I promised we'd go over there really quickly. Chris saying Stetcher did play a few games. Chief Andy saying EST needs to sell a club membership card for the Nasties. We could get this. Chief Andy, that's exactly what the nasty chat is, or the nasty club is. EST needs to sell a club membership card for the Nasties. We could get discounts at Italian Center, Sobeys, Hudson's, and Chez Pierre's. I don't know if we're going to do a deal with Chez Pierre's, much to your chagrin, but Nasty Club memberships do come with perks to our fine partners. I know Pro-Am Sports did a great sale earlier in the season where it was a 2-for-1 Oilers hat thing. If you showed your Nasty Club membership, you could get that. And I know the boys are working on doing more promos with our fine partners. So that's exactly what the Nasty Club membership is. Go to EdmontonSportsTalk.com to check out the details there. I think it's pretty reasonably priced. I think it's like $5 a month. And then you also get a post-show from the morning show boys and all kinds of other exclusives and audio files from the vault. It's worth it, and it helps support us, and it helps us get a little marketing budget going, and that's where that money goes. So, Chief Andy, good question, and that's exactly what the Nasty Club. It comes with a laminated card made by Matthew Bartholomew Awanek. I watched him laminate and cut those cards for everybody, and he put in meticulous attention to detail on those things. And he did not put them out to our Nasty Club members until they were 100% perfect in his eyes. So, yes, we do have the Nasty Club membership. Chief Andy, good question over there. Okay, let's go back inside the AAC, American Airlines Center. Let's hear from the Dallas Stars this time. I think we have a couple of interviews that we could use from the Stars, right, Trev? Which one should we be playing here?
Yeah, these boys are actually together on the podium.
Okay.
So we'll go to Wyatt Johnston and Jamie Benn.
Such a grind. You're going every other day. I just want to ask you about the fatigue factor and how that kind of you have to push through that. And I guess this is why you lift all those weights in the off season, right? For this moment.
Yeah, that's why we train and do what we do all year. So we're feeling good in this time of year, and there's nothing better than playoff hockey. This is where we want to be, and really doesn't matter how you're feeling. You get a lot of emotion, excitement, and adrenaline when game time comes.
And why, just for you, I just want to ask you about the moment. You guys don't seem to be, you're living up to the moment. I guess, what's it been like for you guys and some of the younger guys in there just going out there and playing and contributing the way you guys are?
Yeah, I mean, it's what we all, dream of. It's what we play for all year. Regular season is to, be in these moments, and we're where we want to be, and so yeah, I mean, it's not letting the moment get you, but I think we all just want to take advantage of this opportunity, and it's what you play for. So I think it's just exciting for us to have the opportunity there to make it to the finals and win the Stanley Cup.
Other questions for Wyatt and Jamie? We'll go center left.
Hey, Wyatt. What do you pick up on from Jamie and the leadership group at these tense moments in a series?
I think from what I've seen is just kind of the demeanor and just being able to look at guys like Jamie and the older guys on the team and just seeing. It's a long playoffs. It's each series is long, and I think the big thing is not getting too high, not getting too low. There's going to be a lot of ups and downs, but I think our older guys, especially Jamie and all our leaders, it's they do it the right way, and just kind of try and to stay neutral, not get too high, not get too low, and just focus on what's next, whether it's next period, next shift. Just making sure we're all putting our best foot forward when we can.
You've learned about Tanev. We don't know his status, of course, for tonight, but what have you learned about it? His toughness, his ability to play through stuff when he deals with it?
He's a warrior. I've known that before he even got here, playing against him. He's a tough guy to play against, and really does everything and anything to help his team win. Whether that's blocking shots, we all know he can do that. He pays the price for his team and to give his team the best chance to win, and obviously, does that here as well.
Center right, Tony.
Good morning, Jamie. Just over here. This series is obviously seen a lot of momentum swings. What are some of the proactive actions that your group can take mid-game to make sure you guys mitigate these momentum swings and keep it in your favor?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. A lot of back and forth. It's been a pretty exciting series to be a part of, and I'm sure to watch. No lead is safe, that's for sure. But it's trying to do the right things every time you go out there on the ice. Big shifts after you score a goal, or big shifts after they score a goal, and trying to get that momentum back.
Wyatt, a little bit of a curveball question for you, especially at this time of the year. But in the off season, what do you kind of work on in terms of making sure your release is where it's at right now and making sure that you can sustain it all throughout the year? Is there anything specific or an odd wrinkle that you do to work on your release?
I think just working on it. Pretty simple. Obviously, being able to, get in the gym and try to, especially in the off season, trying to, put on some muscle, get stronger and more explosive. I think that just important. Trying to get, heavier shot. but I think just working on it, working on it after practice, just kind of whenever you get the chance, just have a chance to work on it. I think everyone here does a really good job. The things that they want to work on, and the resources are there for you. It's just kind of a matter of you putting the work in and working what you want to work on.
We'll take a couple more. Center left, Jonathan.
Question for Jamie. I don't know how healthy hockey is in this city, but with the Mavericks earning their spot in the NBA Finals yesterday, is the Star overshadowed by them, or how does it work in the city compared to other sports for the Stars?
No, I think it only drives you to to get to that same point. Obviously, we want to get to the finals here, and we got a best of 3 on home ice. To do that, and I said it before the series even started. When the Rangers won last year, that was motivation for us and the Mavs, and now seeing the Mavs get to their almost their goal of winning as well. We want to be there too.
Center left, Mark.
Wyatt, obviously you learn a lot about a team during a series like this. What have you learned about McDavid and Draisaitl that maybe you didn't know from occasional meetings in the regular season?
I don't know. They're great players. I that. I knew that before coming into the league. Knew that playing against them. It is definitely different. Watching versus playing against them. But yeah, I think that they're great players. They're gonna take every advantage they can get if you give it to them. So it's just about playing them hard, and I don't know what to say. They're good, and they've shown it.
Last one on the right, Greg.
Wyatt, I'm going to hit you with the Mavs question too. In your time here in Dallas, have you become an NBA Mavs guy? Have you had any interaction with the team, and what's your take on the energy in the city right now?
Yeah, I wasn't. Not the biggest basketball guy, but being playing in the same arena, being around a team like the Mavs, and definitely getting into it a lot more, especially in this playoff run for them. And it's a lot of fun to you definitely get into it. The games are really exciting. It's fun to watch, and it's great for the city. Having 2 teams going on deep runs, and as Jamie mentioned, it motivates us, and it's fun to watch. It's cool to see, and I've definitely really enjoyed being able to watch them throughout this run.
All right, that was Wyatt Johnston and Jamie Benn. I know a lot of Dallas Stars fans and hockey fans in general have really enjoyed the work that Wyatt Johnston has done in this postseason. If you're an Oilers fan, you don't really care. You hope that good work ends, especially for the rest of this series. And we'll see if the Oilers can keep those 2 Stars offensive dynamos in check tonight in game number 5. I do have a little stat on Jamie Benn here that comes via the National Hockey League. With 8 points through the first 2 rounds, Jamie Benn has now collected 7 through the first 4 games of the Western Conference Final, including multiple points in each of the past 3. He can match the North Stars record for longest multi-point game streak in the Stanley Cup playoffs, a feat achieved by Mike Modano, 4 games played in 94, Dennis Marok, 4 games in 1986, and Steve Payne, 4 games in 1981. Overall, only 11 skaters in NHL history have recorded multiple points in 4 consecutive contests during the conference finals/semifinals. The last to do it was Mario Lemieux, 5 games played in the 1991 conference final. There was this stat on Connor McDavid. It says Connor McDavid has posted at least 1 3-assist outing in every round of the 2024 Stanley Cup playoffs to date after he collected 3 helpers in Edmonton's come-from-behind win in game number 4. His 4 total performances this postseason are tied for the second most in a single postseason NHL history, sits 1 shy of tying Wayne Gretzky for most. He had 5 in 1985 with Edmonton. So a couple of stats throwing your way. The multi-point totals for Jamie Benn in the playoffs, and then the 3 assist outings in every round for Connor McDavid so far this postseason. All right. A couple of things to pass along your way. The teams are on the ice for warm-up right now. Chris Tanev had that walking boot on at the airport yesterday on his right leg. He is taking warm-up. He is out there. He's a game-time decision. But there's a video that Leah, who joined us earlier, Leah Assimakopoulos from the Dallas Morning News, put out from the AAC. And you can see Tanev, he's trying to do some quick steps, trying to get that right foot going. He is not the most fleet of foot defenseman. He is not known for his skating ability. He is known for being a warrior and his defensive prowess. And he's trying to push it as much as he can. It is I guess a clunky stride, as I would describe it, but he's taken one or two quick steps to try to get it going. I can't imagine it feels particularly good, but a sign that he might play tonight. He is a game-time decision, and he's trying to move out there, trying to do some side steps, eagle turns, all those things to see if that right leg is good to go for tonight. When we do get confirmation whether he's in or not, I will pass that along your way. I'm looking at the lineups for both teams. Here's what Leah had for line rushes from the Stars from warm-up. This coming down just a couple of minutes ago from her. Of course, you could have heard Leah earlier on our show from the Dallas Morning News. Leah Assimakopoulos says Stars lines for Game 5 versus Edmonton. You've got Hintz between Robertson and Sagan, Duchesne between Marchment and Pavelski, Wyatt Johnston and Jamie Benn, who you just heard and saw from, with Logan Stankoven, and then Sam Steele between Dodonov and Craig Smith. On defense, it looks like Lindell with Heiskanen. Thomas Harley will play with Chris Tanev if he indeed is good to go, and if he took line rushes, then yes, he is going to play. And then Ryan Suter with Edmonton's very own Alex Petrovic. He is the pride of the North Side. Jake Ottinger in goal for the Oilers. So there are your Dallas Stars lines. This from Daniel Nugent-Bowman. As for the Oilers, it will be Sam Carrick in for Derek Ryan. Otherwise, no changes to the Oilers lineup based on warm-up. So that means for the Oil, we will see Ryan Nugent-Hopkins play with Connor McDavid and Zach Hyman. Leon Draisaitl centering Ryan McLeod and Corey Perry. Adam Henrique between Evander Kane and Dylan Holloway, and Carrick, who's in for Ryan, will center Matthias Janmark and Conor Brown. On defense for the Oil, Ekholm with Bouchard, Nurse with Kulak, Broberg with Ceci, and Desjardins, Fogle, Ryan, Stetcher, Gagne, among all the Black Aces as well, who are the scratches for the Oilers, while Stu Skinner gets the nod in goal. I got this text coming in earlier. It's from Cal, I believe, who texts in and says, hey guys, I work in healthcare. Assist could absolutely have developed within the time since Troy Stetcher became an Oiler. So there we go. At least someone in healthcare who deals with this stuff and knows about it gives us some insight, because me speculating, guessing, nowhere near as important or good as someone who actually deals with this stuff giving us the scoop. Let's go to this one from Maple Jed. Says, not sure who I heard talking about this earlier, but their whole game plan was for the first period to do nothing but shoot pucks at Tanev's feet. By the second period, he should be getting out of the way. Well, he kept staying in the way, and it was Evander Kane who caught him with the shot that had him limping, but looks like Chris Tanev will play. Whatever health he's at, he looks like he's going to battle through it. They probably shot him up with some freezing or something, and we'll see if the Oilers can get on him and if it affects his skating. I'm guessing it will. Maybe they can take advantage. We shall see. He's going to be paired up. Chris Tanev will be with Thomas Harley, so that's a bit of a change. Esa Lindell with Miro Heiskanen. And then the other pairing for the Dallas Stars will see Ryan Suter with Alex Petrovic, the pride of the North Side. The Jimbo says, I just signed up to be a Nasty Club member on recommendation from the Nasty Chat. Happy to exchange a $5 a month for hours of excellence and sports talk every day. LFG, guys. Thank you, Jimbo. We appreciate you very much. Let's go to Scalding Gourd. Says, Tommy, Oilers win, say 4-2, and a 1972 Pinto for sale or trade, with a wink emoji. Oh, Scalding Gourd, thanks for the text, pal. All right, YouTube, Trev, do we have any more audio and video to get to? Do you want to do that?
Yeah, we can hear from the Oilers head coach, if that sounds okay with you, Tommy.
I think that sounds lovely.
Awesome. This is Chris Knobloch ahead of tonight's Game 5.
Any lineup changes for tonight?
We might have one lineup change, but we won't know until after warm-up.
I also want to ask you about Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. And this is a guy that's been here from the beginning. There's some lean years, and now he provides so much for your team. Leon Draisaitl said he's probably your favorite player. I just want to get a thought on everything he brings to this organization and what he means to this organization because he's been here from the very beginning.
Well, first of all, I've always got a favorite player, but it just depends on the day. It changes. Ryan brings a lot to our team, whether it's a 5-on-5, transporting the puck, making plays, scoring some key goals. He's a big part of the power play. He's not the driver, obviously. Bush, McDavid, Draisaitl get a lot of the attention on the power play, but he's a great facilitator. He does a lot of good things to help that power play work. And then the penalty kill, through the playoffs, penalty kill's been going pretty well, and Nuge is always the first one over the boards. He's a big part of that. So there's a lot of things that I like, and yeah, there are days that Ryan is my favorite, but some days it changes. But Ryan brings a lot of good things to our team.
Far left, Greg.
Hey, Chris, over here. On your left, thanks. Hey. Matthias just mentioned that he felt the team played 52 minutes of really good hockey in Game 4, which by my math means there were 8 minutes that weren't very good. I was curious from your perspective, how much do you stress about those 8 minutes, or is it in the playoffs just something you assume there's going to be 8 bad minutes and then you take the 52 every time?
Well, we're always pushing for 60. We always want a full game, and but the other team obviously has a lot to say about that. They're going to have their times. They're going to be the better team for short periods of time. Hopefully, it's very short. We can't be perfect every time. As much as coaches want to control everything and eliminate every single mistake, that's unrealistic. It's the game. It happens. And, we don't want to be down 2-0 to start like we were in the last game. That makes it very difficult to overcome that deficit, especially against a team like Dallas. And, I think it's very important that we have as much of a 60 game as possible. It's not going to happen, but also having a better start than we did in the last game.
Second row right, Mark.
Chris, most people would have assumed that Corey Perry at this stage of his career is a bottom six right winger. You bring him in your lineup, you're playing with a very speedy left winger in McLeod and one of your very top centermen in Draisaitl. Why did you think that he should be elevated, and why does he work with Draisaitl?
Well, I think all our players have something to give. There's something in their toolbox that's they've got strengths and weaknesses. Every single player has that. Corey's has some strengths. He can score around the net. He can get the puck to Leon because Leon's very dangerous off the rush. You want guys that can make those passes and get it into their hands so Leon and Connor and those kind of players can do their things. Corey doesn't have quite as much speed as some of our other guys on our team, but, we kind of make up for that with McLeod, getting him on the forecheck. And, I think, you look at our lineup and maybe he's elevated to our second line, but, it's pretty balanced with a lot of our
All right, that was Chris Knobloch, head coach of the Edmonton Oilers, talking about his lineup and admitting that some days Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is his favorite player on his team, but not every single day. A little bit of a funny moment there, but that stems from Leon Draisaitl saying that he's the coach's favorite. Leon Draisaitl not being the coach's favorite, saying Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is the coach's favorite. All right, keep those texts coming in. We have a few minutes to go here, 780-218-9999, and then get in on the nasty chat. I saw a couple of nasty chats as I was listening to Chris Knobloch that I was laughing at. There is a new account on here that I've just seen for the first time. Zach DeComb's Dented Driver. Great handle. Picture of Zach DeComb's horrible driver that he bought for $4.50 while he was thrifting, and the thing's a piece of junk. It has a dent in it and has a hole in the bottom. Great handle on YouTube, I have to say. And then I saw another one from Toxic Texan talking about Chris Tanev, who will be playing. Tanev might actually feel better with the skate on now after the game. that is a different story. That comes in from Toxic Texan. Jeff saying, I think Jeff brought up, where is your suit tonight? It's more casual tonight. I'm live on location at Hudson's Bourbon Street at West Edmonton Mall. No suit tonight. I just went more cash. It is a collared shirt. I think it's called was it Chinese collar, Asian collar? I believe that's the name of it. It's one of those ones that you don't have to put a tie on it, but it is still like a dress shirt. So thank you, Jeff. And no, I'm not going for an Amish motif, but I appreciate that. And I wanted to pass along some scores in a few things. The Memorial Cup continues. Right now, the Moose Jaw Warriors and the Saginaw Spirit looking to clinch a berth into the final against the London Knights. After one, it is 1-1 between those two in Saginaw. And then it is the Coachella Valley Thunder or Firebirds that will be taking on the Milwaukee Admirals in the conference finals of the AHL. That's coming up tonight. The Elks and the Lions wrapping up the preseason on TSN. Dusty Nielsen on the call there. Maybe something for the second intermission if you want to flip the channel and see what Dusty's up to down at BC Place. By the way, they're expecting like 40,000 plus for the Lions home opener. And what did they get? 50 Cent? Is it 50 Cent that I see?
50 Cent, yeah.
That's good. Yeah, he's going to be playing the home opener for the BC Lions. That's absolutely awesome. Listen, there was a CFL market that was struggling big time. Amar Doman goes in, buys the Lions, does some great stuff marketing-wise. A local guy, cares about football. CFL, NFL aside, I know the Seahawks aren't far away from there, but he builds buzz, creates community, grassroots programs, regardless of what level of pro football it is. And that market is coming back in a big way, and it's great to see. And it's a sign that if that can happen there, it can definitely happen in Edmonton. Winning football helps. Getting the right people in place, doing the right things. I think the 75th anniversary is going to help the Elks do that, and they do have a great team in place, and they're building it back up. And then new ownership could help lead to bigger crowds back down at Commonwealth June 8th, Game 1 of the regular season. That does conflict with Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final. We'll see who's in the final. And the CFL could move that around if a certain team from Northern Alberta happens to make it to the Stanley Cup Final. One other thing to pass along your way. Actually, 1-0 Pittsburgh leading Toronto down at what was known as the Sky Dome. The Blue Jays wearing a very ugly uniform that they unveiled today. It is their City Connect uniform. The concept's all right. The execution sucks. The best way to describe it, it's black base, black pants, black shirt, black hat, big T with red and blue outline and a maple leaf down the middle, and then Toronto written across the chest with the skyline of Toronto and kind of like an 80s digital look, and then it looks like a water kind of effect underneath the word mark. Just the overall look of it isn't particularly, it looks like a slow pitch jersey. That's how I would describe it. Some of these City Connect jerseys suck. I much prefer the regular Blue Jays uniforms, and then I like their Canada Day uniforms. The red ones are really good. This one, no bueno. The powder blues are great. I know it makes money and generates revenue for the MLB and the teams. Not that nice. I'm just saying. The Oilers in their traditional orange and blue road whites. The Dallas Stars in the Kelly green home uniforms with white and black trim. It's going to be a great game. YouTube, Trev, any final thoughts from you before we read off a few texts to wrap things up?
Yeah, I think Cass was kind of Belzy was kind of getting there before his internet crapped the bed, but put pressure on the D, and he was saying it, be physical, especially with Tanev how he is right now, and I think that's kind of why Knobloch was like, okay, let's maybe bring in Carrick because he provides a lot more physicality than Derek Ryan does. So I'd like for them to be physical. I think last game was definitely one of their most physical games of this series, and look how it fared for them. It fared very well. So I'd like a physical game for them. And as far as a good start or a bad start, I don't really know because it seems whatever team has the good start, they eventually end up losing. So it'll be a good one. I'm pumped. Who knows? I'm getting those goosebumps again. So let's go. I'm pumped for tonight's game. Head on down to Hudson's, where Tommy will be. I think Lieutenant Eric's on his way as well. So
he has arrived. As has Matthew Iwanek.
Yeah, let's go. So yeah, I'm pumped for tonight's game, Tommy. It should be a good one.
I love it. I'm very excited as well. Lots going on in the sporting world, and I'll wrap up with a couple of texts. I'm laughing here. What did the poll end up at, by the way, for the question of the night, really quickly, Trev, on the YouTube side?
The poll is currently at, it ends with 64% saying yes, with 155 votes. So yeah, pretty solid.
Nice. And the poll was the question of the night, which was, go ahead, read it, please.
Is Conor Brown's play this postseason validating his contract? 65% of our audience say yes, and 30. Oh, it switched 64 now, and 36 say no.
Ooh. That's still a healthy win for yes, I would say. And interesting. I thought it'd be closer to 50-50, but hey, he's totally redeeming himself this postseason. He was fired up after the game. Game 4 when he set up Matthias Janmark for the shorty, and he's been playing much, much better. He'll be on the line with Janmark and Sam Carrick, who's in for Derek Ryan. Chris Tanev is indeed playing. He's paired up with Thomas Harley. Essa Lindell moves up to play with Miro Heiskanen, and then the third pair for the Stars will see Ryan Suter with Edmonton's very own Alex Petrovic, who I call the pride of the North Side. Family grew up. I played hockey with his older brother, then against his older brother, and then my youngest brother, Paul, played hockey and grew up with Alex, and I love to call him the pride of the North Side. But I got this text that came in from Scalding Gord. It says, wait until Tommy goes, quote, North Side casual. I said, that's no sleeves and cut-off jeans, and look up in case I do. And then one more note, Twitter Mary, thank you very much for correcting me. It is a Mandarin collar, and I couldn't remember the proper term for it. So it's a little casual, but still a touch of class. Twitter Mary, thanks for the save on that one. Appreciate you so very, very much. All right, that is going to do it for the Oil Stream pregame show right here at Hudson's Bourbon Street. Come on down if you don't have anything better to do. The drinks are flowing. The game day specials are going. It's going to be great. $5 lift tickets. Those are shots tonight. $18.99 steak sandwich. Oh, baby, it's going to be a good one. And they do have 6 o'clock or lager on location. Thank you to Leah Assimakopoulos from the Dallas Morning News and to Shawn Belle for filling in for Matt Cassian. For YouTube, Trev and Belzy, I'm Tom Gazzola saying enjoy game number 5, Oilers versus Stars. We'll talk to you on the postgame. Ciao, ciao.